What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you. Church of MHA Season 2, Episode 41. My Hero Academia, Chapter 338. Live reaction and discussion. You already know what it is. Now, Jump Fest is happening. Jigoku Raku anime has officially been announced. We got the trailer for it. Went to Mappa. Other Jump Festa news, we got the Bakugo will play a big role. We all knew that. We all knew that. The big boss job, yeah, had to do that. Anyway, about Horikoshi's comment, as far as if everything goes according to plan, we'll see. Specifically because this is the same dude who said Sports Festival would take 10 chapters, or originally thought Sports Festival would take 10 chapters, and I'm still amazed that was the idea. So let's see, we got J. Michael Holmes and Lamar Arrington in the chat already. I know the lurkers are here. Shout out to the lurkers. I know we don't really talk about y'all enough, but y'all be quietly in the background supporting the channel. I appreciate you too, even if you don't always have things to say. Shout out to the lurkers. He's pulling up already. Let's get this popping. See, letting everybody follow in. How was y'all weeks? Let me know. Y'all know. Tekido Hori said something along the lines of, if everything goes according to plan, My Hero Academia could be over by like next year or something like that. Like I said, the dude straight up admitted that he thought Sports Festival was going to be 40 chapters. My stance on this is, if I'm being 100% honest, if Horikoshi is like barreling towards the end, it would make me believe that to a certain degree, he might have been told, like, you can't do the shoji discrimination-based arc, something like that. I think it's kind of odd. We went from him kind of seeming to do whatever he wanted to the editor switch around the war arc, and then we get this stuff. So we'll see what happens. Because this could be like a Tagashi situation where he's just like, nope, I'm done with y'all. I ain't dealing with this. So, because Tagashi, when he ended Yu Yu Hakusho, was largely because he didn't feel like dealing with jump deadlines and stuff anymore. He was like, no, I'm not doing this, busting it every week, all kind of stuff like that. So, let's see. Hey, Thomas going on dates, seeing No Way Home. We love to see it. Let's see, Tiger Blaster. Yep. MK the baby. All right. Let's see. So yeah, could be a Togashi situation. That's kind of how I'm leaning towards it at this point now. Like, if he's really getting done this quick, it's just him being like, all right, you know what? Let me finish up my contract. I'm out. But Nader Moad, make sure you message me on Twitter, because it's the last chapter of the year, and that means that this is the season finale. Because My Hero's message is very counterculture to Japanese culture in reality. So to a certain degree, there might be some discomfort from people who are a bit more steeped in the old ways. Actually might have a special guest sliding through, maybe a couple, depending on how the day goes. We'll see. We're at 29, almost 30. Let's get it popping. All right, and there we are. I can now pull up the chapter. Y'all ready to read? Let's see what's good. Let's see. I'm guessing that who knows? There's plenty of series. I mean, maybe it becomes like a Shonen Jump podcast. Who knows? We'll see. The way I look at it is that we go through the next year and then we see what happens, because there's all kinds of stuff that I've liked or media that I've encountered that I would love to talk about and just don't. So we'll see. Oh my goodness. Having a family reunion in the chat. Anyway, So yeah, last Church of MHA episode of the year. We might have something else popping next week. We'll see. Maybe we'll do that big stream after all. All right. My Hero Academia chapter 338, opening page, Aoyama, Deku, the story of how we all became heroes, part 1. Yeah, okay. Not so fast, Midoriya. Sansa, go ahead and gag young Aoyama. And no, there will be no hand-holding. He's in police custody. Regardless of any extenuating circumstances, the fact remains that he conspired with All for One. Furthermore, though it may seem that he's safe and in the clear, we can't be sure he's not booby-trapped like Nagant. Until Central Hospital can run a full analysis, it's unwise to let the boy speak another word. All right, so my chapter review came out a little late. But especially for those of you who are watching this VOD, because that I know some of y'all pop in later. One of the things I mentioned was that Sukauchi could be a traitor too, because specifically the key that kind of made me question this was when they mentioned how if they lie, All for One will kill them or he'll know. And Sukauchi's sister was an extremely prominent character during My Hero Academia Vigilantes. And her quirk allowed her to tell if somebody was lying just by touching them. It was effectively, her quirk was effectively polygraph. And while one of the times we see it in action, it does under a very specific context, because what happens is she asked the crawler if he is the cruller, because during Vigilantes, one of the things is that because he's not an official hero, people don't always know his name. So she asked him if he's the cruller instead of the crawler. So he lies and says, or he says he's not the crawler or the cruller because he's the crawler, but also he's trying to keep, himself safe. And so because she said the wrong name, it doesn't register as a lie. But it could be that if we're looking at people trying to protect their families from All for One, that her quirk was stolen by AFO and she's been kept in captivity or something like that. So that's something to think about. Yep, Makoto. So getting back to it. Mr. and Mrs. Aoyama, why didn't you inform All for One about our raid in Camino? Okay, so he didn't. So that means that All for One just happened to be chilling at that normal facility. I figured that Aoyama had informed them. Apparently not. Of course, there could have been other reasons. For example, I also believe that Nezu might be a sleeper agent. So at that point, he could have easily just been utilized properly. So let's see. Mr. and Mrs. Aoyama, why didn't you inform All for One about our raid in Camino? We never had a way to reach out to him. We only had communication when he came to us, probably so that he couldn't be tracked down in case you were caught. Detective Sukauchi, we can't find All for One. That's the current situation, right? Oh, all right. So the Aoyama bait plotline seems to be going in motion here. They still get to make the opening move. That's why our side is calling up everybody able-bodied. We got sheer numbers will give us a fighting chance. Kaminari, if nothing else, maybe we can steer the way the villains join the fight. Kaminari, stepping up. Mineta, oh sure. Looking at it from another angle, this is Momo interceding. As of now, there's only one person. Why? Why would they turn to me, deceive All for, who could possibly deceive All for One when I'm a despicable villain? Now, this puts Aoyama in a very dangerous position, but we've talked about this already. I think a lot of us, some of you, those of you who have been consistently here, we've talked about this. Aoyama being used as potential bait, Aoyama coming in and being relevant and being utilized so that they can bait All for One into a conflict. So we'll see what it is. why would they turn to me when I am a despicable villain? President Mike comes in. Hold up. Slow your roll, kiddos. Jumping the gun much? A crime's a crime, and I hate to say it, but you bunch are the biggest victims here. Can you really trust this guy now? Now, worth noting that Mike is still making sure that the iPad is visible. Ida, that is all in the past. The responsibility also lies with us for being unable to perceive what lay in his heart, which is precisely why, when we witness our classmate weeping in despair, our urge is to reach out to him as friends, to allow him to take our hand, because that is the only way we can once again make him our equal, our peer. Now, it's important to note that Class 1A seemed, especially for those of you who had been kind of like keeping your fingers on the pulse, there was a lot of discussions of things like Baku Squad or Deku Squad, and how we were always observing like different cliques that had formed within Class 1A, not necessarily in a malicious way, just certain people being affiliated with each other. One of the things that has happened since the war arc as a fallout is that all of these cliques have now formed into one, and they already had little overlaps in them. Like people would talk about how Jiro's like a member of Baku Squad, but Jiro's also close with Momo and, you know, like Kaminari and all these other characters. And then you have people like Mineta, who was friends with Kaminari, even if he wasn't necessarily friends with everybody else. And he also was really big into Deku and being supportive of him. And so you had all these overlapping cliques finally congeal into one, united under the mission of protecting Midoriya and getting past the consequences of the war and dealing with preventing another calamity. Thanks to effectively a year of horrible traumas, Class 1A has become fully united, and it is what is called in psychology effectively a trauma bond. So keep that in mind. Now, Bakugo, the crap I went through because of him. 5 good blasts of my howitzer should make us even. Now, people may hate this kind of like violent joke, but I'm gonna be honest with you. What this does is at least have somebody say like, no, dude, this did inconvenience my life. And the idea of Bakugo, a guy who was kidnapped and is a grumpy boy, completely skating past this is absurd. It would be out of character, and with those two things factored in, it would objectively be bad writing. So while it doesn't completely work for some people as a comedy, obviously I'm sure it is what it is. Now, Sarah, a little extreme, don't you think? Now, Kirishima comes in. That's right. Aoyama, you thought you were helpless against All for One, yeah? That's why you obeyed, but things have changed. You tried to get your folks to put an end to this bad deal, didn't you? When we went to grab Midoriya off the streets, did a single one of us give him crap for being quirkless at one point? Did we hold it against the dude for keeping that a secret, for holding back those tears? Aoyama, we can still stand strong together. And Tsukauchi coming in. Sorry to break up the excitement, but in terms of the Aoyama family cooperating with our search, they've already told us that All for One won't believe any lies. I understand how you all must feel, but let's keep a cool head about this. All right, and finally Aizawa Sensei gets to come in and talk, which still being in the hospital a month later, even at the best hospital in the world, lets you know how much damage dude really took during the war, how much he's trying to recover from cutting his leg off and all that other stuff. Yep. Oh yeah. Let's see. All right, yeah. Also, I read the JJK chapter this week. Wild, because I saw somebody mention Gege. That's all I'm gonna say. Midoriya, do you have a concrete plan in mind? Not really. Sheesh, didn't think so. Detective Tsukauchi, I didn't see through the ruse either, so I'm responsible too. That said, I feel the same way the kids do. President Mike Aizawa, Aoyama, I still have no intention of expelling you. See, that's my goat. That's my man who adopted 20 children. Sorry, 22. Can't forget about Eri and Shinso. That's my goat who, in the face of death, when Shigaraki was pulling up on him, to this day, I question who they really saved, who went for the blade instead of moving. It was like, my leg broke, I'm still stab this dude. It is what it is. And then Deku saved Shigaraki there. See, this is what I mean. Deku been saving Shigaraki since the war arc. Don't get it twisted. As I would have popped that man's muffin cap off. All right. As Class A's homeroom teacher, I have an idea. Detective, cover the Aoyama family's ears for a minute. The fact that the onomatopoeia that they've gone with here is doom is a little alarming, but we see them all talking. All right. Shot out the classroom. We'll need to inspect each and every location. It all depends on him. It certainly seems feasible. It may be worth a try, Sansa. I'd like to continue this back at HQ. The rest of you keep this all in the strictest confidence. Got it? And then worth noting that as they're moving away, we get that wide shot, but we get Deku, Ida, and Uraraka together, emphasizing once again that UA Trinity from the beginning. And then Aoyama, and he turns. Let's see. So then we cut back. You know, they're all at the dorms. We'd better prepare. I must do something about my costume since it was torn to pieces from all the G-force and air friction, stuff like that. Random shot of the two glasses. Let's see. Doesn't look like anything spilling over. Let me just double check. Let me zoom in real quick. Let's see. Yep, just some little condensation. Nothing too crazy right now. I'm just going to assume the two glasses are meant to parallel Deku and Midoriya, though, because there's a little bit of wetness on the side, so it's their sadness, more than likely. And then, so they're standing there. Hagakure, it'll work. Yeah, this will bring him down. And then we get the Class 1A. Yeah, all of them in the shot. Uraraka looking like she's about to do her best. Wait, where's Invisible Girl in this shot? Well, I guess since she's the one who said it, they don't need her in this angle. But yeah, let's see. To prepare for the upcoming battle, to leave nothing to chance, I need to repair some key equipment. And then as he's walking into the development studies or the support course, boom, another explosion. Ida, deja vu. Oof, that hurt. Hey there, it's been forever, Midoriya, and it's a repeat of the same scenario, which I guess is a good thing Ochako's not here because she would have probably just folded her right here. Not interested in waiting now. Now, my thing is that I feel like Class 1A is thinking they about to doing a little more than they really should. Because they a little too confident. Now, the fact that it's called How They All Became